he tried to undercut me.
Oh.
He tried to cut me out of the equation because I had really good local Indonesian partners. And how he tried to do that was by showing them evidence that I was misappropriating his funds and so on.
Oh my goodness, sabotage.
Sabotage, right? So he showed them, and he's an accountant.
Okay, welcome everyone to another segment of Behind Closed Doors. And today we have a good friend of mine, Mr. Umar Munshi from Ethis and Hassan VC.
Yep.
Right, all right, awesome. So I know Umar for a very long time, alhamdulillah, since I think we were still kids, right?
Yes.
So today, that's my short introduction. Okay, I've known him for a
Right.
long time, but he has done multiple businesses and I've seen him grow amazingly through the years. But I think there's nothing will be better justice than to hear from the man himself. Let's hear from you, bro. All about Mr. Umar Munshi. Silakan, bismillah.
All right. Thank you, brother Fas. Alhamdulillah. A little bit of background. So I'm Singaporean, living in Malaysia, and I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 18, which is 20 plus years lah. 25 years, quarter of a century.
Yep.
Yeah, long time. In that period, I did many different things. In my initial 10 years, I did a health tech business, I did a restaurant business, did some trading. I did all sorts of stuff in my early years. But a lot of that period, I was living in Indonesia. So that actually opened up my eyes and my view of the world, my worldview, quite a lot, right? To see, because it's very contrasting from Singapore. When was it? I think about 15 years ago, the business that I was doing at that time collapsed. I was sort of cheated by someone, by some internal party, one of my supplier. And then that, I can talk more about that if you want, we can run back to that.
Okay.
So it was, I guess you can say a challenging period, but it was also a turning point. Because from that point onwards, I discovered that there was a more ethical way to do business, and specifically ethical finance, Islamic finance, responsible or participatory finance, right? So then from that point onwards, I focused my entrepreneurship, whatever capability I have, to develop a more ethical type of finance for humanity based on Islamic principles, right? And that's where I launched or started Ethis. Initially, it was just to help the community, or to facilitate investments by the community. One thing led to another. It became what is called a venture builder, where over the years we started and launched multiple new businesses in that space of fintech based on Islamic finance.
Oh.
Right, so that was 12 years ago, and for the past 2 years, that's still running. Right? Some of the ventures are still running. I have different partners, different leaders, different investors in different parts of the world running those platforms. So I'm not involved day to day so much anymore.
Okay.
My focus over the past 2 years has been on Hassan VC, which is an early stage venture capital fund and an accelerator program. So that's like quick summary.
Mashallah.
So
You delving into business and doing all sorts of stuff, eh?
yes,
But alhamdulillah, I think for the past maybe 15 years or so, it is. Those has been on more on the finance attribute of business lah.
specifically investments.
Okay, cool. So inshallah, I hope to learn more about what you do, and I think it will be very beneficial to our viewers, especially those who always think, it'd be great to actually have sufficient funds to grow and to move the business to the next level lah.
Yep.
So inshallah, let's hear from you a bit more. What was your inspiration, bro, to start on this journey? Is it
Okay.
You saw something in the market which was missing, or you wanted to correct something?
All right. I guess if you talk about the journey from the very beginning, I was young, I was 18 years old. So the motivation at that time was excitement to, it's thrilling, it's interesting to do business, and of course you want to make money.
Yeah.
Right? As I got older and more white hair, white beard came out, And then I experienced life and saw things, and I realized it's not all about making money.
Yeah.
Right. So I mentioned earlier the transition from doing business. I mean, I was always doing business that was good business, I would say. Like trying to health tech is trying to help people and so on. Not illegal or bad business. It's just that the objective was doing business to make money, right? That was the end objective, you know. But when my business in Indonesia at that time closed down, and a series of incidents happened, that's where I was inspired to try and focus on doing something for humanity or for society through business.
Oh, so a higher cost.
A higher cause, yeah, higher reason for existing, right? And so the trigger was the business that I was doing in Indonesia. I was doing very well. It was a nanotech health product. I think you remember.
Yeah.
I took the distributorship. I brought it to Indonesia. It went up and down, and just before it collapsed, I would say we were at our peak. Right, we had some good partners. We had expanded in 4 different cities in Indonesia at that time, and then within 1 week, everything collapsed. Right, it was very sudden. It was quite shocking. I was strangely quite calm because I'm generally a calm guy. I think once you do business for a long time, you have to be calm.
Yeah, things happen.
You can't panic and you can't get stressed. And it's natural to get stressed, but you got to know how to manage it, right? So what happened, I didn't know what was happening. Just like in 1 week, suddenly I lost everything. My Indonesian partner started getting very upset with me, saying I wasn't truthful. He took all our stock. He locked up the office. I'm like, what's going on? So what happened was that my supplier, who's from Singapore, he tried to undercut me.
Oh.
He tried to cut me out of the equation because I had really good local Indonesian partners. And how he tried to do that was by showing them evidence that I was misappropriating his funds and so on.
Oh my goodness, sabotage.
Sabotage, right? So he showed them, and he's an accountant. I mean, and I trusted he handled all our accounts for even my business. He wanted to cut me out because he saw, oh, business is going to go to another level. I don't need Umar in the middle, right? So he tried to cut me out by bad-mouthing me. But it backfired because the Indonesian guys just became very upset and they just shut everything down. Right? So anyway, and I told myself I just have to continue lah, right? I just gotta pick up the pieces and restart. And Alhamdulillah, my family, we all give tuition, right? So tuition is, and Alhamdulillah, I have some teaching capabilities. So I did tuition for some time to get back on my feet. The thing that actually was a major trigger was I had a sports car at that time. Don't know whether you remember lah.
I remember. I think there's one same model park at level 4.
Oh yeah?
I was like, wow, it's a coincidence, man.
Yeah, the small, comfortable, selfish car lah, or 2 people, the small bag. And at that time, you know, I had this mindset that was shared with me by other senior business people that you have to look the part, right? So to be viewed or accepted as a successful business person, you need to have a nice car, right? And so I had that nice car lah. And the car was actually sort of sponsored by the principal or the supplier, the same guy who cheated me, who tried to undercut me. Then, but it was under my name. So that's another mistake I made, right?
Okay.
Don't rely on other people to pay for your assets and it's under your name, right? So when I came back, he disappeared because he knew the game was up. He disappeared. And then it turns out that he did not pay for the car for many months, and eventually was repossessed. So when you have a sports car that's repossessed in Singapore by the bank, it's not a fun situation. Right?
I can imagine, man.
So overnight, my business collapsed. I lost everything. Right? I lost my partner who was my friend in Indonesia. Later we managed to, mend ties. So business collapsed. Right? 7-8 years of business. At its peak, collapsed. Came back to Singapore to try and recover, and then I got hit by this repossession, right? And so overnight I owed the bank money.
Wow.
And I can't remember the numbers, but let's just say $100,000 I owed the bank, right? It's a finance company, and they promised we'll restructure, blah 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 blah. But what happened was that, the usual thing lah. they start imposing all sorts of penalties, right? So I could afford to pay $1,000 a month, but based on the calculations, 700 was actually cost and fees. Only 300 was repayment. So 300 a month to pay back 100,000 will take forever. And that's when I eventually I cleared it. I managed to get some support from other people, clear the bank, and then clear these people who supported me without interest. Right? If you had been with the financial institution, I don't know how long it will take forever. Kan? But Alhamdulillah, people came forward to, a few people came forward to help me out. But not everybody is that lucky and blessed like me to have access to cash, right?
Yes.
Actually, Rahman was the one who introduced me to Islamic finance.
I see.
He was studying in Malaysia, in CF.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey bro, check this out. I'm studying this thing. And I look at it. Oh, I never knew there was such a thing, you know? And so I started diving into Islamic finance. I didn't, take my master's or anything. I just took courses and read up online. And I was so impressed by the theory of it, the principle, the theory, the principles behind it. Very fair, very participatory. And to me, it was like, why isn't this what we are manifesting or doing in the financial system? Is it just because it's attached to religion? But it's for everyone, right? It makes a lot of sense, So then we started promoting Islamic finance in Singapore. At that point to Muslims, right? Because I realized that in my business history, I was involved with a lot of not halal finance lah, like the car loan, right? That wasn't halal and it came back to bite me, right? And so that was the turning point lah. So I told myself I'll dedicate myself, my time, whatever skills I have to spread Islamic finance and halal business for Muslims and for everyone else.
Okay, let's go back to when you were in Indonesia, right?
Yep.
There was at that point in time when your business was going up, right, for the 8 years, right? What were the right things that you did that you felt like, wow, we're really doing it, man? I'm like, we're really making, like really good business and everything was solid, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What was happening during that time?
Okay. I think there's always this balance that I today realize even more, where it's very important for a business owner to be adventurous, to be creative, to be courageous, to be brave, to try new things and so on, right? At the same time, we need to also have focus, right? So there's that balance between trying many things or going after many opportunities and having focus. I think at that time, I was too much into trying to do new things, but some of it worked out.
Okay.
Right. So I was very adventurous. Right. I didn't have any mental barrier, even though I'm new to Indonesia. Right. I told myself I can conquer the whole country. So I had that innate confidence and willingness to try, even though I had nothing. I literally didn't have much. I had very little. So so that was the first thing, having the vision, the courage to try a lot of things. And I think the second thing was persistence. Yeah, I just kept trying and trying. So maybe I can share a short story about how I got my main partner and investor. Right?
Okay.
Not the guy who eventually, went bonkers. The first partner I had, right? My first investor basically. So he's a multi-millionaire. Right? I didn't know about it. He came to my restaurant. I had a restaurant in Singapore, kan? So he came to makan. My staff was Chinese, couldn't communicate with him, so I came to talk to him and I sat down with him and he said, when you come to Indonesia, contact me, right? And then when I went to Indonesia, I realized he's a very successful businessman. And I pitched to him, this is what I want to do. He said, very interesting, but I don't know, I can support you as a friend, right? I said, okay. So he wanted to put in the money. So I went to this first guy, my friend. He was a friend by then lah. And I said, okay, I got this guy who wants to put in the money. I want your advice, right? Do you think I should take it? So he said, cancel the guy, I'll put in the money. Right? Okay. And because he said, I see your persistence. Yeah. So the persistence part is very important. The first point I mentioned is the courage to try new things and to believe. This is also very important. I guess the one last thing I can add is to be very sincere and honest in your dealings, but not too open to everybody. I had that challenge or mistake of being too open to too many people. But not everybody wants to see you make it. Not everybody wants to support you, right? Some people look like they want to, but they have a different agenda. Yeah. So those are a few things I can share.
You're going to keep some cards close to your chest lah.
That's right. Yeah.
Awesome, man, bro. Awesome.
So that was Indonesia. Indonesia is it's a wild east, I call it.
As an accountant, I always say that numbers tell the story of the business, lah.
Yes.
So, for you yourself and being in the finance space and everything, right? Can you maybe share with us what kind of numbers you normally look at? But this be specifically for your business, lah.
Yeah.
Like what numbers you look at, you pay attention to, and help you to make better decisions.
This podcast has been brought to you by Accounting Superhero, your trusted partner for Zero and SME compliance in Singapore and Malaysia. Switch up to Accounting Superhero today.
Along the way.
My business journey is sort of divided into two, right? The initial years, the first 10 years, and then the next 10, 15 years. So the first 10 years, frankly, I was very bad at finance. As in, I didn't focus on it enough, right? As long as the sales, I'm happy. You know, I think there's a group of business owners who are like that.
Yeah.
As long as you grow, you got business, got deals, got cash coming in, you're happy, right? I was always naturally very prudent and lean also with the team, right? But I never really planned properly. And I had projections, but they were done one time. Then after that, I forget about it. You know. Now, as I get more mature and more experienced, and now that I'm sitting on the side of the investor, it is just so critical, right? From early on, I always hear that the lifeblood of a company is the cash flow.
Yeah.
But it never really got into my head, right? But we'll find a way to continue, we'll find a way to survive, doesn't matter, you know? But that is just so key. Especially today when I'm, we want to talk about our company lah. So for our company, for Hassan VC, when we started, we sat down with my partner and we said, cash flow must come first, right? One of my former chairman in Malaysia, a very experienced gentleman, he always told me you want to do good, that's great. But you cannot do much good if you yourself are not doing well.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
So you need to do well, then you can help others. Right?
Exactly.
And so I took that to heart. I must be able to make money, right, such that I can pay myself, I pay my staff fairly, so we can do our work.
Yeah.
So we can do the good that we want to do. Yeah. So I think that's the main thing. Like cash flow is so key, especially in today's world. I mean, we have at least every month we look at the cash flows and everything with my team. But during periods where the cash flow is tight, then it'll be on a weekly basis. When we know 3-4 months is okay, we just do it monthly.
I mean, in times of, a bit more, things are a bit more serious in that sense, you will increase the frequency on how you look at the numbers lah.
That's right.
How often you look at numbers lah.
I think even for me also, I always assume accounting and finance all the same. But it's two different functions.
Yeah,
right? True. Finance is more of planning and projections, right? Yeah.
There was there ever a time when you look at your numbers and then you realize that there is a hidden opportunity or there was a certain risk there that you actually had to address?
I think probably on the opportunity side, right? Because sometimes, it depends on how organized the business owner is. You may not actually know which product or service is the one that's keeping you afloat. And sometimes there are also products and services that may not be your bread and butter, but that's what can give you your upside when it comes, right? So I think it's more at the granular level, whether it's this department or this team or this initiative or this project or this product, to understand which of these products is what keeps you afloat, and which of these products may be the same, may be different, are the ones that if you push and you get it, then you get the upside and the profits. Yeah, so I think that's a very, very key component to understand what you're providing, and to have that so-called unit economics. Even, for example, we don't do this right now, but I know companies, especially tech companies, who calculate revenue per employee, and so that they can track the headcount, whether adding more headcount improves the revenue per employee or not.
Yep.
Yeah.
Could you also maybe, just now you spoke about the rhythm in which you actually, look at numbers and everything, right? So you mentioned if, times are a bit more tougher in that sense, if cash flow is tighter, then you will increase your frequency.
Yeah.
Could you advise other business owners out there? Like, maybe they are currently at a stage where they see all this, bookkeeping, accounting, it's just a year-end task, just for compliance, rather than a management tool like what you have been doing, right? Any advice you can give them?
Yeah, I mean, going back to the analogy or idea that cash flow is your lifeblood, right? If you run out of cash flow, how are you going to run your business, right? So you really need to understand the cash flow very well and project the cash flow and anticipate. I think good founders or good business owners, they explore different scenarios, right? If this happens, if that happens, then what am I going to do? How am I going to react? How am I going to adjust, right? Especially for me now in the startup space, a lot of startups come with the idea or plan that I'm going to raise this amount of money so I can execute my plan, right? And we tell them, especially when we invest in them, we tell them we are investing in you. This is the money you have at hand, and we are investing. I mean, depends business by case by case. Most of the founders that we have that we invested in take that advice and to reach sustainability, small amount of capital that we provide because we are early stage investor. Some of them, strangely, the better experienced founders who have done it before, they're confident. So they say, no, I will take your funds, but I will also continue looking for more because I want to do this. In today's environment, I would say most of them are not able to raise the funds in the end.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because funding is very, very tight right now, right, for the past 2 years. And some of them then get stuck. Some of them are able to adjust very quickly. But when I say adjust quickly, it usually means cut costs. When I say cut costs, it means letting go of people. So that's never something you want to do. Right? Unless your team is not good, that's a different story. But usually, we don't want to let go of our team members, right? You're forced to let go. So it's a very unpleasant scenario. Like even my own company last time, I can just share with you. Before the pandemic, within the group in Athens, we had, I think the peak was 130 staff.
Wow.
It's spread out over eight branches around the world. Pandemic came, 9 months of no revenue. And 9 months of not being able to fundraise, all the investors cancelled.
Wow.
Okay? And so we had to downsize right size to 20 full-timers from 130.
Wow.
Within 6 months. It's very tough. And I mean, we don't want to let go of the people who want to do, So it's very important to think of different scenarios, worst case scenarios, right? Plan for worst case scenarios. Because in today's, very crazy world, things can happen anytime.
Yep, true. Something that we definitely can do. I think the points you mentioned about sustainability, even with the small amount of capital in that sense, right? And not being too overconfident to say that, look, I'll get more funds and then increase your cost base. Then suddenly, if you want to actually adjust or downsize in that sense, it'll be much harder, right? So
maybe this is more applicable to the startup founders, But so for the 10 years that I was doing the fintech venture builder, I think this is something that I learned a lot from. We got good advisors and board members. Right? Some are more from different backgrounds, not only tech people or startup people, right? Traditional business people and so on. So a few of them will always say, your plan doesn't make sense. You need to make money. And I'm like, no, startups don't need to make money now. We make money in 3 years' time. Now I need to burn money. But that was the prevailing unicorn mindset at the time, right? But he kept saying, okay, it's your company, but I'm telling you, you have to make money. You're not a business, right? At that time, I was just very resistant to that idea. But in today's world, that has to be the default. Which is why we have this concept I was sharing with you of the camel startup, right? And it's something that not only applies to startups, but all businesses. Resilience, sustainability. Yet, very valuable, right? Because the analogy we give is we are living and doing business in a desert economy. And if you're not a camel, you're going to die in the desert.
Honestly, we face with so much challenges, the environment that we're operating in, and you use the analogy of a camel as well. So camel was very, very priced. I mean, in the many thousands of years ago, and until today.
Just to highlight a few amazing characteristics of a camel. So one example is the camel thrills can actually absorb moisture when it breathes out. Moisture keluar, they retain a lot of that moisture.
Wow.
Right? So that's a mechanism that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala blessed them with, right? Another example, of course, everybody knows about the hub, lah, which is fats, right? So you can store fats.
Yeah.
Another example is their double
Yes,
eyelid,
yeah.
the double eyelid that can
Protect them
sandstorms
from-
and all that. So in the same the analogy put into the business world today, the heat, the sandstorm is very high. The challenges are increasing every day, right?
Yeah.
Cost of fuel, cost of inputs, cost of everything, inflation and all that. And then at the same time, water is scarce, right? People are more prudent. They're not spending so much. It's hard to get investors and all that. So you have to have those kind of mechanisms inbuilt into your business, just like how a camel is created in that way.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Let's go to the next one, bro. Okay. Let's ask you a little bit about how we work together, lah. Right. So, working with Accounting Bureau, how do you first got to know about us, lah? I mean, of course, you know me, I know you.
Yep.
But how do you know that maybe we can be of service to you or to help you somehow?
So I think the first time we got to know each other when I was still a teenager, lah,
Yeah.
right? And I think you've been doing it since that, right? All the way, right?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, know you personally, yeah. So of course I know about your business as I went.
Yeah.
But yeah, company also lah. The company has grown, right, since a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I think the main thing is, I mean, even though we know each other, but I mean, doesn't mean you know each other. You can work together or you can, right? The thing that strikes me is also the sincerity, lah. You're always here to help, and that's one part that's important. You're here to help sincerely. And the other part is the actual technical capability, lah. Right, where you help not only just do the technical work, but you help the business to understand their own business as needed. Right? I think you provide some advisory or friendly consultations and so on.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that's very, very useful and very, very important.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How's the experience been so far?
I think the business experience has been good. Yeah. I think my team does most of the coordination, so I'm just copied into the emails.
Yeah.
But so far, I think everything looks smooth and good. So again, I think it goes back to the communication and which is from the sincerity part, lah. Because some service providers who are in demand or busy take a long time to reply. They don't reply sometimes, or they're like, we have a queue, you have to wait. Okay, but I mean, as long as there's proper communication and an alignment of expectations, then it's okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So far, I think I mean, everything is good. Alhamdulillah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, bro. I want to ask you a little bit about the no good, the bad, and the ugly. Where things got so bad, so difficult, so traumatizing that it haunted you for many years to come. And even now, if you think about it, right, you still feel that anxiety, that sense of nausea that comes with those memories level.
Yes.
Yeah. Can share the other.
All right. So, Alhamdulillah, I have to say that somehow I'm maybe the way I was brought up, right? I'm someone who doesn't really get emotional. Sometimes I sort of have to make myself get emotional because sometimes you need emotions to influence other people. But yeah, I generally am a very calm person. So, and I've gone through a lot of downs, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of crashes, a lot of terrible, difficult periods. And I can share a few if you want to know. But yeah, I've always been very calm because I just take it as this is the journey that I've been put on, right? I'll face whatever comes my way. As long as I know I'm doing it with the right intention, with the right effort, right? Sincerity, then I'll just keep continuing, you know? So that's something very important for entrepreneurs. I feel it's very, very critical.
Yeah.
If an entrepreneur gets stressed with problems, then maybe that is not the life that you should go for. Right? If you're a business owner, you need to be able to handle stress and challenges and problems because it's always going to come.
It's constant.
Right? And you extrapolate it to life, life is a big test. Right? So your business is the test. And I think that's why, in my understanding, we are encouraged to do business rather than sort of be an employee, right? Where, you're just doing ABC and getting paid for it. But as a business owner, you're creating value for society, you're creating products, you're serving people, and you're growing from there again. So, I mean, I don't have a particular time when I got depressed because I generally don't get depressed. But I do have things from my business journey that disturbs me, and I'm trying to figure out how to solve some of these things. So, for example, things a bit sensitive because we deal in investments. We facilitate, we meaning most of my businesses, even today, Hassan BC, we facilitate investors putting money in the real world. We call it direct investments or alternative investments. You're not putting money in a bank or in or unit trust or even stock market. You're putting money in small businesses or startups in the real world or projects. So the risk is high, right? And I understand the risk. I embrace the risk. I like taking the risk, right? And a lot of people along the way, right, our different platforms, fintech platforms, get excited by this, but they don't understand the risk that they're taking. And I think this is something very important. But business owners need to invest as well, right? Business owners should diversify their sources of income, right? So whether a business owner or whether you're a professional or income earner, investing in the real world is what we all need to do a lot more of, but within your means and within your comfort level. When I say that, to be explicit, money that you can lose, can afford to lose. Right? So today, over time, we have served more than 5,000 investors through our platforms and all that. There is still, until today, a small pool of them who lost money, because you will lose money. I'm not proud of people losing money, but it's just the nature of it, right? Like in Indonesia, about 7% of our investments failed. The investments that we brought onto our, so those people lost money. And we told them it's high risk, but they have the mindset to accept the risks. I know I can't make everybody happy, but I want to keep trying to figure out how to get the right kind of people doing the things that are suitable for them. Yeah.
I see. So is it something which is currently still going on, or it's,
I think it will always be there, right? Because there's always going to be investments that make it and investments that don't, right? So as long as I'm in this space, I think it's part and parcel of what I do.
So how do you overcome this, so-called like worry or anxiety that this thing is there? Even if as you move forward, it's not going to go away in that sense, right? There will be more investments. The possibility of, a small default will still be there.
That's right.
How do you manage it?
I think very important not to take it personally, although some of them are very personal in how they communicate. I can share with you, for example, this guy, a very wealthy guy, he put in some money, and then one of his projects failed. The rest all succeeded. One of them failed. And he said, I want my money back. I invested because of you. Then I'm like, I don't know who you are, and you invested in that third party on my platform. They said, no, I invested because of your face. He said, right? Like, okay, you shouldn't invest because of my face. So, people can take it personally sometimes. So, on my side, I have to take it not personally. I just try and empathize with him, and that's on one part. He's just frustrated. He lost his money. He's not used to it. And on my side, I do what I can do the best that I can. And I told myself, I just sort of convinced myself that this is all I can do to help this guy. I can't do more. Right? And so I feel comforted that I tried my best in that sense. Yeah.
So I remember there was this one time, I think that time you were in Indonesia, but you were back in Singapore for a short period.
Yes.
So I think there was some things that you wanted to see me on, and then I invited you to the office, and then I remember you told me, I'm not so mobile, but inshallah I'll be able to make it. So I thought, okay, fine, no issue lah. So I invited you to the office. But then when you came, you were on crutches, and then I think one or both legs, you had bandages and everything, and then I realized how bad a situation you were in, and I think your missus also came with you to help you, and all that. I felt really bad, bro. Honestly, I didn't know how bad it was. Then, of course, before you went back, then you asked me, to see what's going on. And then I say, okay, then you showed me your legs and everything. Wow, what a big shock.
So that was actually the period where my business collapsed in Indonesia, and I came back, try and pick up the pieces, then everything got worse.
I see.
And my account was repossessed. So I think, if I remember correctly, soon after, I got into issues with the bank and all that, then this thing came out. The sole of my softbook, painful to the touch. So I can't put my feet on the ground. I was on crutches, on my motorbike, riding around Singapore giving tuition with the bandage. So, Wallahu alam, I don't know whether it's appropriate to say this, maybe something spiritual, some disturbance or something, because I did do some, read some Quran and so on and some practices, and then it went away.
Oh.
But for 6 months, I think it was really bad.
Yeah.
But somehow I still managed to, move around and
that's
get some
amazing.
income to continue lah.
Yeah. Not like circular, yes. It was almost tubular,
Yeah, there were like holes on my feet. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, alhamdulillah, I mean, for many years it's been
Okay.
fine. But
Mashallah.
I guess, like I mentioned, when things are bad, it can get worse.
Yeah.
At the time, everything became bad at the same time, But that's why I was saying earlier, the mindset that challenges are there to test you, and you just have to go through it with, sincere intention and good spirit.
Yeah. How was the role of family at that point in time in like helping you overcome in that sense?
Yeah, family is very important, my wife is very supportive, and my late mum, I think she has the biggest influence on my life and the way I see things.
So if you're a business owner and you're watching the podcast, if you feel at any point in time that you need someone to just go through with you what's happening in your business, see what needs to be improved, give you some pointers, or at the same time maybe plan your next 3 years ahead of you, do feel free to contact me, right, and book a session with me, inshallah. I'll see you. Bye-bye.
There's two parts. One is the general mindset that we are here to serve, right, and work for the afterlife, right, and whatever God gives us or puts in our path, challenges or otherwise, is something that we have to embrace and move with. Like even the Prophet said, we worse challenges than us, right?
Correct.
And on the other part is related to that also, extrapolated from that is we are here to serve humanity, right? We serve God through serving humanity by bringing benefit to society. Yeah. So maybe I just share a bit also when she passed a year ago, almost a year ago, I sort of took over her phone, right, to continue messaging her friends and whoever. And we never knew. I mean, we knew she's very charitable and help people and all that. But two things that struck me was one is humans tend to be closer to or spend more time or communicate more with people that they like or people who are sort of popular, Kan? It's just natural. But she had this habit of reaching out to people, family or otherwise, who were having problems or who were outcast or who were, problematic from society's point of view. She would always reach out to them.
Oh, mashallah.
So when she passed, they would message me and say she was the only person who cared for me, and that, because I also naturally like this person problem, I don't want to talk to this person. That person leceh, I not avoid that person.
Careful a bit lah.
Yeah, but she would purposely reach out to these people because they need the support more. Yeah, so that's something that I'm trying to implement in the things that I do. And the other one was basically doing charity in secret.
Wow. Inshallah, Ratias in Jannah, bro. I mean,
Inshallah.
thank you for sharing this, bro. Oh. One more question about the past.
Sure.
Last one about the past. If you could go back in time to the earlier Umar, the younger Umar, whichever point in time that you choose, maybe if you could tell us which version of Umar or which date, for example,
Okay.
and what would be your advice to yourself?
So I think when I moved to Malaysia, right? Because I was in Indonesia, I came back to Singapore, pick up the pieces and rebalance back and all that. And then I moved to Malaysia, right? Maybe because also of my Indonesian exposure, when Indonesia, they are very status conscious, right? Or this big shot, that politician, this guy with connections and family and all that. So the culture, the business culture is always, looking up to big names or big individuals. So when I went to Malaysia, the culture is also it's still there lah. Right. So the first major, I guess, mistake I made was we partnered with a big, powerful, influential group who became our investors.
Okay.
Right. But these guys turned out to have a different agenda altogether.
Oh,
And we wasted 2 years not doing business and basically dying and restarting.
wow.
Right? So
They didn't want you
they
to move or what?
when we moved there, it was because we knew we had a good chance to get a very valuable license,
Okay.
right? A fintech license.
Mm,
We knew we had a good chance because we were already engaging with the regulators for some time.
okay.
Like, a lot of my business history is engaging with regulators. So when we reached there, when I migrated there and moved there, we needed a certain amount of money. It was a few million ringgit to apply for the license.
Okay.
At some point, these guys came with the money, right?
Okay.
But it was very rushed thing because there was very little time. The earlier investors we had to cancel, so these guys came in at the last minute, and so we went ahead with them. But back to your question on the advice, right? So especially somehow in our community, don't get swayed by big names, big promises, and focus on investors who have alignment of values. Yeah, not just money, power, cable networks, right? Or maybe you don't even need to focus so much on that. As long as they have the alignment and they believe in what you want to do, they want to support what you want to do, I think that's the most important thing. I mean, it's not easy to know how sincere an investor is, but you need to have these conversations and look at it from this lens. Yeah, so that'll be my advice. Yeah.
So,
But one thing I can add is every so-called tragedy or bad thing that happened, there's always a very clear benefit or silver lining behind it. Yeah. So Alhamdulillah, I have all these experiences.
Yeah.
And the main motivations for Hassan VC is to pay it forward. Yeah, to share what I know, what my network has, what our value is to the next wave of entrepreneurs. So they don't have to hit the wall so much like I had to.
wow, so
Yeah.
wow, I think you can help a lot of people, inshallah. This will be the last segment, which is actually golden words. And this will just touch a little bit about your mindset, some leadership attributes that you have, and advice for those who are about to start business or who have just started business, because business landscape now and when we started in the past, bro,
Oh yeah.
totally different, right?
Yes.
So I think if you can, maybe share with us a little bit, your mindset will have changed from the past and now in terms of money and growth.
Yes.
What's the shift like? Like last time, maybe as you mentioned, a good car and all that, shows that you are successful. What is it now? How has it changed?
Oh yeah. Well, my mindset has changed a lot. But maybe I'll frame the answer in terms of the business opportunity today.
Okay.
Right? Because multiple significant things or factors have reshaped the world and continues to reshape the world, and this will only accelerate. Right? On one side, there's, of course, everybody's talking about AI.
Yeah.
Right? And as a VC and at the front lines of innovation, because I meet the latest startups, latest founders, I see that it's not just a shift, it's actually a reimagining of the economy, potentially. But it will reimagine and reshape the economy at many levels. But at the same time, there will be certain aspects or segments of the economy or society that will take some time to change, or may not even change much, or may even move the other way and become less digital.
Okay.
Right? But by and large, the world that we live in, because it's already so digital, it will change a lot. Right? Let me share just a small point, and I'll jump back to the advice or the suggestions to entrepreneurs. So in the past, when you do business, long time ago, a product is attached to the individual. You buy a table from that guy at the corner. He's the table maker, he's the carpenter. Right? So his skill, his quality is what I'm buying, that person. Then it became industrialized.
Yeah.
I buy a table, I have no idea who made it. In fact, nobody made it. It's many people in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
Right? It's industrial. The challenge for businesses is the scarcity of supply, right? And then, of course, you need to get the demand. With AI, again, some levels of the business world, this scarcity issue will start to go away. Because AI can replace a lot of things humans are doing. And that's I believe the main objective of these big techs, big AIs is to replace humans, right? They have been saying that, it's not a secret.
Yeah.
They want to replace humans. They've started to replace humans.
Yeah.
When the world is being this way, technology, on the other side, because technology, the biggest barrier to technology is actually culture and regulations, but culture. So today, culture, in terms of people's mindset, is also being reshaped because of conflict, oppression, clear-cut craziness by world leaders doing crazy things, right? Everywhere. And so some humans are just oblivious, just do their own thing, but a lot of people are starting to see things differently.
Yeah.
Because the veil is lifted up, right? Yeah. We know what these people are doing, they're saying what they're doing, and behind the scenes, maybe it's even worse, right? So there is this change of sentiment, mindset, demand, culture. So technology, huge seismic shift, cultural shift, geopolitical shift, and then because of AI and because of all the problems we face, when there's problems, more people want to solve problems, so there's more entrepreneurship. So I believe all these factors put together create a situation where, in my view, it is the best time to start doing business. You don't have to quit your job to do business. You can do a business on the side. You can be a one-man army because the AI is your army working for you. I have friends, close friends, business friends who have teams of AI agents working for them 24/7, right? Whether it's creating content or doing something else, I can create an AI avatar of myself and just create podcasts with just filling in scripts, right? So I mean, this is just a tip of the iceberg. But back to my point here is, I feel today is the best time to do business because of all these changes. It's always when the world is changing when opportunities will emerge. Now, if we approach it, if good entrepreneurs, good business owners come and try and solve problems sincerely with ethics and morals, then the world becomes a better place, right? Even though you may be small, but you affect who you affect, right? If we don't, then we'll just be at the whim and fancy of the existing big techs that rule the world. That clearly is not trying to make things better for us. They just want to get richer and have more power, right? So we need to have this alternative. Sometimes when I meet startups and investors, they're like, how are you going to beat Google, right? You think you're going to invest in the next Google? And I said, we will be asked what we did, not what we accomplished. Right?
The struggle.
The struggle, the effort.
Because
the outcome is not in our hands. Right? But we have to put in the effort. Right? When the time comes, you ask, what did you do when the world was being reshaped? When this thing was happening, and we said, nothing, I'm just working and pretending nothing's happening. That wouldn't be a good answer.
Well put, bro.
A lot of things to think about like this today. But that's where also, I mean, when I share these things, sometimes people feel macam so depressing. Say, look at it as an opportunity. If there's no problem, how do you do good? Right? When there's problems, like for example, this mindset of if someone comes to you and you give charity to that person, you actually need that person more, right? Because you have somebody to give charity to, and then you get the pahala, the reward, right? So it's the same thing. We need challenges. Not that I want the world to get worse, but we need challenges so that we can respond to those challenges. The danger is we don't do anything about it. Malaysia, in my view, is really an opportunity, sort of a diamond that is not being maximized. Malaysia has a very, very unique role globally, especially in the Muslim world today. And it's not capitalizing on it. And entrepreneurs there can definitely leverage on Malaysia and of course Singapore to do global business.
I think the Malaysian brand actually is very easy to penetrate into the Gulf countries. And the respect towards how Malaysia and Malaysia's position in the global politics is also there, alhamdulillah. So I think definitely I can see your point, bro. Awesome, bro. Alhamdulillah. All right, man.
So the last question.
Yes, I think the advice to young entrepreneurs is to basically, I think as you mentioned, look at it as from an opportunity standpoint. There's definitely something in there. You just have to understand what your role is, I guess.
That's right.
And not look at it from a very negative standpoint that AI is going to replace everything.
Yes.
Because it can't. I don't think it can do everything.
It cannot. what will become more valuable is the human element.
Yeah,
No?
because for me, how I relate to it is this though. There was one point in time everyone was trying to sell you a chatbot, right?
Yeah.
You have to okay, you put a chatbot, your website, everything will be done, And there were people doing it for $5,000. There were people doing it for $20,000. So at the end of the day, I said I don't want chatbots. Because for me, I need the human element.
Yeah.
I want my clients to know that when you call us, we will pick up. And the human person must be there.
Yeah.
Because I myself, I hate it when I call, like for example, call Singtel or something, then they put me on hold and they put me into some self-answering phone call, no? So,
That's right.
yeah, so I guess ultimately that whole phase kind of fizzled away. So now there is a certain process you can get some questions answered, but you still get a person involved lah. I think that's important to recognize that. So Alhamdulillah, I think we've heard from Umar. As I always say, behind every successful business is a story told by numbers. And today, you've heard from Umar Munshi from Hassan VC. Thank you so much, bro, for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for making it here today, bro. Thank
Yeah,
you. Alhamdulillah, thank you. Assalamualaikum.